Avalos, Benjamin, Gregory, Ashley, Victoria, Rachel, Bailey, Laura, Adam, Kaveri, Andrew, Destiny, Cole, Abby, Aliyah, Aldo, Ledesma, Rachel, Rachel Malone, Jillian, Remington, Meton, Rayleigh, Eric, Kayla, Relay, Bradley, Rock, Thompson, Ethan, Samuel, William, then Jaden. Jaden. Okay, did you have any problems with chapter 2? Anyone with any issue with chapter 2? Any question on chapter 2? So we will do our quiz on Friday. It's only for like 20 minutes. So the last 20 minutes, okay? So the last 20 minutes. So by 11:30, we will start a quiz. Then you do it for 20 minutes. These are very simple one, like 3 or 4 questions covering chapter 2. So make sure you go try read on that. All right, so today we're going to chapter 3 and starting from. So you go and read chapter. You have the textbook, right? So you go and read section 1, section 3, 1A. Also read the other sections, but they're very simple. I don't think you'll have any issues with that. So if you have any issues, then you can write a mail or you can write a text to me, okay? All right, so today we're looking at graphing linear equations. So graphing linear equations. So in section 3.18, you will see what the intercept mean. So if you read that statement there, says any point that an x or a y coordinates of 0 is called intercept of a graph of the equation, because it is this point, at these points that the graph intersects the x or the y axis. So for the x intercept, this one is the point where, this is the point where we have this point. This is what we call the coordinates. This is the point where the y equals to 0. The x-intercept is the point where y equals to 0. Then the y-intercept is where we can write like this, y. And this one is the point where x equals to 0. X equals to 0. So to find the x-intercept of an equation, so to find the x-intercept of an equation, let y to be equals to 0. So to get the x-intercept of the equation, you let y to be equals to 0. Then to find the y-intercept of the equation, then you let x to be equals to 0. And then you solve the values of x and y respectively. So to graph a linear equation by plotting points, you need to find 3 points whose coordinates are solutions to the equation. So first, you get, first of all, to draw a graph, then first you look for the x-intercept, where y equals to 0. So you will get this point, x 0. That one is 1 point. Another point, so another one is to get a y-intercept. So this is where you let x to be equals to 0. And this point will be 0 and then y. And then you get the third point. So you can let x to be equals to a number, or you can let y to be equals to a number there. So when you let x to be equals to a certain integer, then you solve the value of y. Or you can let y to be an integer, and then you solve the value of x. And this point will now be x, y. So we'll have now 3 points, x0, 0y, and then xy. And then now you can draw, a line over there. So now you can draw a graph. So you get the points. So maybe the point here is, this one is the point where y is equals to 0. So let's say this one is the point, x and then 0. And then you have another point here where x is equals to 0. So 0, then y. and then you can get another point, maybe which is here or which is here, and then you draw a straight line. Okay? Then you get a straight line. So that one is what we mean by linear. Linear is where you draw a straight line. So if you still remember y equals to mx plus c, do you still remember this? Did you do something like that? So this one is an equation of what? An equation of what? A straight line, right? Yes. So this, we will look at this. We will be looking for a gradient, which is m, and then we will see that. So here, in this case, if you have an equation like this, y equals to mx plus c, then we say to get the x-intercept, then you let y equals to what? Equals to 0, right? So to get the x-intercept, you let y to be equals to 0. So 0 equals to mx plus c. So now you bring this on to the other side. So minus c equals to what? Mx. So x equals to minus c all over m. So this is the point now. So the point will be minus c over m, and that is 0. Okay? To get another point, which is the x, the y-intercept, then for y equals to mx plus c. So to get the y-intercept, then we let x to be equals to 0. So y equals to 0 m times 0 plus c. So y equals to c. So our point now will be 0, and then what? Then c. Our next point is that 0 and c. Then you can get the third point. So y equals to mx plus c. So to get the third point, then you can say you can let x or y to be a certain integer, which you are able to solve, okay? Try not to put any decimal point so that you can be able to draw a straight line, okay? So in our case, you can let x to be equals to 1. So when you let x to be equals to 1, then y equals to m plus 1, m plus c. So we now have the 2 points. So the coordinates will now be x is 1, and then the y will be what? M plus c. So we have now the 3 points. So this one is number 2, this one is number 3, and then this one is number 1. Then now we draw. We now plot the Cartesian plane, and then we put the points, and then we draw a straight line. Okay? Very simple, right? Yep. Right. Let's look at example number 1. So if we have minus x plus 2y equals to 6, graph this using the intercepts. Graph that one, minus x plus 2y equals to 6, using the intercept. So you start from x-intercept. So when you talk of the x-intercept, then y is equals to what? Y is equals to 0. So x, step number 1. X intercept. So you let y to be equals to 0. So when you let y be equals to 0 there, then minus x plus 2 times 0 equals to 6. So minus x equals to 6. So x equals to minus 6. So we have the point here now will be minus 6 and what? 0. Minus 6, 0. Then step number 2. Step 2. Y intercept. So let x to be equals to 0. Where there is x, you put 0. So minus 0 plus 2y equals to 6. So y equals to 3. Y equals to 3. So our point here will now be what? Will now be 0 and what? 3. So this is 1, this one is 2. Then we get the next one. For it to be so accurate, take 3 points, okay? For your line to be so accurate, look for 3 points. All right, so to get the next one, we have this equation, x plus 2y equals to 6. So what number or what integer, when we put it there, then it will not give us a fraction. So we can let x to be equals to what? 2 or 1, right? Oh, yeah, 2, sorry. So we let x to be equals to 2. Or we can let y to be equals to what? 1 or any number, okay? So let's let x to be equals to 2. So it will be minus 2 plus 2y equals to 6. Then you take this one to the other side. So 2y equals to 6 plus what? Plus 2. So y is equals to what? Y is? So 6 plus 2 is 8, divided by 2 is 4. So we now have the point. So this one is the point now 2 what? 2, 4. So we have the 3 points. So we have 3 points. So now you come and plot a graph. You come here like that. So it goes to what? It goes to, we have 6? No. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Okay, so our first point is minus 6 and what? 0, okay? So minus 6 and 0. So where is minus 6? Let's say minus 6 is somewhere here. Minus 6 and 0. So let's say minus 6 is there. So minus 6 and 0. So this one is our point. So the next point is 0 and 3. So x is 0 and y is what? 3. So x is 0 and y is 3. So it comes there. Oh, you're not seeing that? Okay. So this one is 0 and so this one is minus 6, 0, and then this is the point 0 and 3. Then the next point is what? 2, 4. So the next point is 2, and then 4 is somewhere there. So this one is known to scale. So 2, 4. And then you do what? You plot a straight line. So this line is now the equation 1. The equation 1. So minus x plus 2y equals to 6. So that line is minus x plus 2y equals to 6. Are we together? Is it clear? Any problem? Okay. All right, you can try this one. Graph y equals 5x using the intercept. Y equals 5x using the intercept. All right, so start by looking for the x-intercept. So this is the point where y equals to 0. So when y equals to 0 here, then it will be 0 equals to 5x. So x equals to what? 0, right? So our first point is 0, 0. Then we come to the next one, which is the y-intercept. So this is the point when x equals to 0. So when x equals to 0, then when you come and substitute here, then it will be y equals to 5 times 0 there. So y equals to equals to 0. So we have the point 0 and then 0. So we have found 2 points, but they are the same. So that one is just 1 point, right? So that's 1 point. So we need to look for the other 2. So we need to look for the other 2. So the other 2 will be, so this is the equation y equals to 5x. So to get the other 2, then we can do what? First, we let x equals to 1. When you let x equals to 1, then y will be equals to. So when you let x equals to 1, then y equals to 5 times what? Times 1, which is equals to 5. So our point would be what? 1 and then what? Then 5. So this one is the first point, this one is the second point, then the third one So for the third one, you can do what? We can let y to be equals to. So we can let y to be equals to 5. So you can let y to be equals to 5. So when we let y to be equals to 5, so 5 equals to 5x. So x equals to what? Equals to y. So third point here will now be 1 and then what? 5. So this is our third point. 1 and 5. Is it clear? Are we together?
Is that not the same point as number 2?
Number 2?
Like,
Yeah, number 3 and number 2 are the same points.
yeah.
Oh, they are the same points. Okay. All right, so we can get another point. So we can get another point. So we can let what? We can let y to be equals to 10. You can take y to be equals to 10. So when you take y to be equals to 10, then it will be 10 equals to 5x. So x equals to what? Equals to 2. So our point will be 2 and 10. Then now you can be able to plot that. So you can be able to plot the straight line. Okay, so you go and try the 3. Y equals to x, 2x minus y equals minus 8, 3x minus 4y equals minus 12. Okay, let's come to section 3.2. The slope of a line. Now, after drawing a straight line, from now let's say we have something like this, and let's say this one is the point this one is let's say 4, then 0 and 4, then here maybe this one is the point 4 and 0 there. If we have a straight line passing through the 2 points there, we have a straight line passing the 2 points there, then we are able to get the slope of this line here. So we have the slope formula. Where we always put m to be equals to the change in y all over change in x. So this means change in. So the change in y all over the change in x. So this change in y is the same as if we have the points x1 and y1 and another point x2 and y2. So the change in y is y2 minus y1 all over x1, x2 minus x1. The change in y all over the change in x. So if we have this line over here, then we can be able to get the slope of that line. So we have this point at this place here, which is now 0 and 4, and then we have another point here, which is 4 and 0. So this 0 and 4 at the top can be x1, y1. And then this other one here, 4, 0, can be x2, y2. So to get the slope of that line, so it will be change in x all over change in y. So change in x all over change in y. Okay, an example. Let's look at this example here. Use the slope formula to find the slope of the line through the pairs minus 3, 4, and 2 minus 1. So the points are these, minus 3 and 4, and then 2 minus 1. So this can be x1, y1, and x2, y2. So our slope formula, which is m, is equals to what? Change in y all over change in x, which is equals to y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. So m equals to y2 is what? Minus 1, right? Then minus y1 is minus 4 all over x2 is 2 minus x1 is minus 3. Minus 3. So m equals to minus 5 all over what? All over 5. So m equals to what? Minus 1. M equals to minus 1. use the slope formula to find the slope of the line. Through the points -2, 6, and -3, -4. So here, this is x1, y1. This one is x2, y2. So m equals to change in y, which is -4 -6, all over change in x, which is -3 -2. So this is equals to -1, -10 over -3 -2 is what? -1. So m equals to 10. M equals to 10. Now, if we have let's say we have this. We have that one. So what is the slope of that line? What is the slope of that line? 0. So how will we solve that? So we know that the slope, which is m, equals to change in y, all over what? Change in x, right? Right? So we know if we select any point in this along this line, the values of x are what? The values of x are what? We're talking about the horizontal line. At this point, what is this point? If let's say this point is 4 and 0 there. So this is negative, let's say 3, and this one is maybe -4. So this point will be what? This point will be what? So we have 3 here. So what is this point? We have this one 4. So what is this point? So it will be what? -3 and what? -3 and what? And 4, right?
Yeah.
And then this other point will be this other point will be negative 4 and, oh, sorry, 4 and negative 4, right? 4 and negative 4. So if we take the 2 points there, if we take the 2 points, which is negative 3 and 4, and another point, which is 4 and negative 4. And the point 4 minus. Is it minus 4? Sorry, this one is 4, right? So that one is 4. So if we take the 2 points, then the change in, am I doing the right thing here? So here, the change in y is what? Is there any change in y? So the change in y is equals to 4 minus 4 all over the change in x is 4 minus 3, which is equals to 0 over 7, right? So 0 over 7 is what? 0. So when we have horizontal, then m equals to 0. So when it is horizontal, then the gradient equals to 0. So how about when it is vertical? So this is like this. So we have that one. If we take that point and we take this one is at this point y is 0. So we can take 4 and 0. Then we take another point here. We can put this one as minus. Let's say this one is minus 3. So what is this point? So this up to here is 4, and this one is minus 3. So it is 4 minus 3. And then if we take another point there, and then we put here to be equals to 4. So here will be what? Will be 4 and what? 4 and 4. So the points are, we can take 4 and 4, and then 4 and minus 3. So change in y is what? Change in y is minus, so m equals to change in y is minus 3 minus 4 all over 4 minus 4, right? So m equals to minus 7 all over what? 0. So minus 7 all over 0. So if you divide anything by 0, what do you get? What? 0. When you divide anything by 0, are you getting 0 in your calculator? Are you sure? So when you divide anything by 0, then this is undefined. Sorry, is undefined. So the slope of a vertical line is undefined. So because you divide by 1, there is no change in, so the change in x is 0. Change in x is 0. Any question? Who has not done the homeworks? I think there are like 2 people who have not done the homeworks. Who doesn't have the account? No, homeworks. Yeah. Who hasn't done the homework? You've not, right? Did you get the account? What? Who else? You have like two or one, another one person. So who has done the homework?
Hazel hasn't done.
What?
Are you asking who hasn't done?
Yeah, who has the account? There are some people who doesn't have the account. So make sure you do by, I think by I'll start being strict from next week. So let me still give you some time this week. So do your section up to this by, I think by Monday. Yes, by Monday. So by Monday, you should be done with 3.2 and 3.1. Okay. So let's meet on Friday. Bring a blank paper, okay, like 2 or 1. So I'll come and project the homeworks here, the quiz here, and then you do it and then you submit. All right, see you on Friday.
Yeah, got exposed. And so I'm not allowed to come to class on Friday.
You're not coming,
Yeah, they're not letting me come on Friday.
you are going somewhere on Friday.
They're making me stay in like a room, like quarantine.
You?
Yeah.
So you were exposed or?
I didn't get exposed, but like because she was exposed and we lived together,
Mhm.
they're making us like move out of our room so they can like deep clean it until and I have to like stay out of our room until she gets her test back.
Oh, okay.
But like our building manager said that I can't come to class because they want me to limit my in-person contact. So what am I supposed to do about the quiz?
So I might send the link. Okay, I'll just post it in Google, then you can do it and then
Okay.
send it to me.
Okay, and then what about like attendance? Like I don't want to get counted absent. So,
Okay, we'll just work on that. So long as
Okay.
you.
like, do you want me to just like email you Friday saying that like
Yeah.
I watched your lesson?
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Fine.